content is the lifeblood of your channel. You can have the most amazing and enticing thumbnails and get people to click, but it's actually knowing the value and the quality you always provide that keeps them coming back. When you consistently deliver something valuable to people, that's what actually hooks them on your content. And coming up with ideas can feel so daunting when you're a beginner. So what's the best way to come up with quality content your viewers are gonna love? Keep watching to find out how. Hey Big Shots, my name is Daniel Ford and I help motivate entrepreneurs who want to master the strategies of YouTube for their business so that they can get fresh leads and profits. Be sure to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell if this is your first time here so you never miss a video on growing your business on YouTube. If you're posting even just once a week, that's gonna be at least 52 ideas a year. These video ideas need to be quality topics. These aren't just whatever random weak ideas that come to your head when you do a big brainstorm session. We're talking $100 ideas here. And what do I mean by that? I mean ideas that actually hold a lot of value for the people who are watching your videos. This process takes work. These content ideas generally don't come in $100 idea form. You have to do the work to flesh them out, research them, expand them, explore them, and make them as useful to your audience as possible. But it will be worth it when you actually find your groove with this. So be patient with yourself and be creative and persist. So what are some ways you can actually easily come up with these ideas for your videos and turn it into quality content? I have 6 tips for doing this. Let's start with tip number 1. And the first one is make space. If you want good ideas to come to you like naturally, you must make space for them. Set aside the time for this. It could be once a month or once a week or once a day or whatever works for you. For example, Mr. Beast brainstorms a lot. He actually does about 1 hour every day.
It's that important. What inspires you? You have to study that type of stuff and you brainstorm an hour a day minimum, things like that.
So decide on a time or a day when you tend to be most productive and plan to sit down during that time for a brainstorm session. Also, make sure that you have a secure place to write down all those ideas that come to you. Make a pledge for zero judgment of any ideas you might initially see as dumb. I promise you, you can weed out the best ones later. Just start by getting them all down on paper for now. You could also get in the right mindset to actually brainstorm them by catering to your personality. You can go for a walk if that helps you. Just make sure you have a note-taking app on your phone or a pen and a notepad, or even a recording device to record ideas with. Find whatever works for you to help you get in the zone with this, and make sure to be prepared for those ideas that come at random. Even taking those small preparatory steps can make all the difference for you for having the right clarity of mind to get in the creative zone and come up with the best ideas that will actually make the best content for your channel. So tip number 2, start with what you know. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, use your previous experience. Use your business IQ. If you already have a business in this field, you must have at least some knowledge in this niche and have some experience that you can bring to the table that others haven't had. You can use this to your advantage here with content creation. Start by making a list of frequently asked questions, things people want to know about your business, or tips that would actually help them avoid problems you've actually encountered yourself. You can also use your skills. Make a list of skills you have, or even just things you've actually accomplished in your business. What are you really good at that others look to you for guidance with? Or what are you maybe good at that no one even knows about? All of these things can contribute to your content in multiple ways. You can also think back to the whole process of getting to where you are now in your business. What did you not know about your industry or your niche when you first started that would have helped you actually grow faster? Think of ways that you could have shortened your own learning curve in that industry, or ways you solved problems you had that others might have too. For example, when I first started on YouTube, I was doing a filmmaking channel, and I was really just trying to expand my skills for my videography business so that I'd get better and be able to grow my business. I was pretty good at editing since that was a huge part of my business, so I did a lot of editing tutorials because that was a skill I was confident in doing that I could easily share with others. So you can do this too. Use the skills and experience you already have to help your viewers who are looking for that. Number 3, know your audience and niche inside and out. You aren't going to reach anyone with your content if you don't know exactly who you're talking to. Your content is only valuable when it's reaching other people. You need to know who those people are and why they actually watch your videos. And if you want to make it as valuable as possible for them, figure out who your target audience is and really step into their shoes. Find out what their fears or questions are. And appealing to your audience's fears and helping them resolve this will help you connect with your people so much faster. Also ask, What are their needs and problems you're hoping to solve? Or what is the entertainment value you are going to give in order to teach that? You need to really explore what that is and incorporate that as much as you can into your video ideas. So like this video down below if you actually know your target audience already and what point in the journey they're at. So research, research, research. Tip number 4, baby. This one is huge, and you've got to use your resources to actually see what content is already out there and take ideas from that. There is so much information on the internet that can help you find or spark good ideas. So get on all the platforms and websites and learn about your niche as much as you possibly can. I can't stress this enough. You've obviously got plenty of options for this. There's Google search, there's YouTube search, there's all kinds of blogs. You can go to frequently asked questions sections, niche communities, forums, Facebook groups, Instagram pages, Pinterest, and other YouTube channels. You can even search on Amazon or bookstores, etc., etc., etc. Think about this, you guys. The options are never ending. Search for your topic in various platforms that make sense for your particular business and see what actually comes up. This will give you clues about what questions people are actually asking and what might be of interest to your own audience. You can also look up your topic on answerthepublic.com. This is great because it actually gives you potential questions or ideas you could search for and develop into great video content ideas. Make sure you specifically search YouTube and Google Trends. See what's trending in your niche, what topics or multiple niches are focusing on, and even think about what might be of interest to your niche depending on the season or the time of year. Sometimes observing others can be the best way to actually spark authentic ideas. In combination with this, actually don't forget keywords everywhere. As you are doing this research, use keywords everywhere to look at other suggested or potential titles or topics when you search. These will show up on the right side of your page. So another thing I would do is go to websites of other businesses or blogs in your niche and see what tactics they are specifically using to grow their businesses. Observe what content they prioritize on their website and check their frequently asked questions sections to see what their subscribers or customers are actually asking about. Another angle you can explore is your industry. Think of apps or tools, equipment or software people commonly use in your niche and consider doing reviews of them or talking about the pros and cons of them. You could also talk about what you specifically use and why. So another thing you can do is conduct surveys. If you don't really know what problems people have in your industry, there are simple ways you can find out. If you already have a customer or client base somewhere, or someone you know does, send out a survey and ask them questions about what problems they have and what they could benefit from. Okay, you can also get into Facebook groups and niche communities or forums in your industry and do the same thing. Email family and friends and ask about what their experience is with this industry. Get creative with it. So look up influencers or pioneers within your niche or industry or related to it and write down any that you could talk about in your videos or even consider collaborating with, whether it's now or in the future when your channel has grown. So again, don't judge any of these as too far-fetched or too good for your small channel. Just write them down. Don't forget about the comments as well. On each of these platforms, make sure you go to the comment sections and see what people are actually saying there. See what questions or concerns or doubts they have. See if you can even highlight that page or business or blog and what they are doing and promote their videos or channel to actually help build a community and build relationships with other creators for potential collaboration opportunities in the future. You need to check all of these places for potential topics and write them all down. You need to explore the topics or categories as much as you possibly can and write down every single variation of the ideas you come up with. You never know what might spark your interest later down the road. And my last thoughts on this tip is really dig into this research. Don't be afraid of it. Don't judge it. Get good at asking questions that draw out a helpful response. You can't talk about what you don't know, and you won't know what's relevant and what's going on in your industry unless you actually get deeply involved with it. Whew! Okay, that was a lot. Next, tip number 5. So emulate what others are doing. And I just want to be clear at this one. You aren't watching or looking at other content to try to copy or just regurgitate what they are actually presenting. You're doing it because you want to be as familiar as possible with your specific niche and with what other smart business owners are doing to create good content. You're doing it to help brainstorm ideas for your own material with its own particular brand. You're observing others so that you know what strategies or approaches others are actually using and how you can actually add to that or answer questions that maybe they didn't address or talk about in an aspect of it that they didn't actually focus on. With so much information out there these days, most topics aren't truly original, but you always want to create your own spin on what others have contributed rather than just copying word for word. Focus on what you feel is important, what your experience adds, and make it your own unique presentation or perspective on the subject. So as far as where to actually look for ideas from other content, I would definitely focus on YouTube. Don't be afraid to look outside YouTube for content ideas, but I would specifically research other YouTube channels for this because having the same platform application is going to help you sort through information faster and faster and get to those $100 ideas like we talked about at the beginning of this video. And that's going to be extra helpful when you're trying to come up with content for your own channel. So for starters, just go to YouTube, search your niche, then filter the results for channels and see who comes up. Check out all kinds of creators, big and small, 5,000 subs up to 100 million subs. Go to their channel, click on the videos tab and just filter them to see what their most popular titles are and see what suggested videos there are next to theirs. Also search creators of videos that yours are being suggested by. You can find this in your YouTube analytics. The important thing with emulating other creators is you want to make sure that you are contributing differently to the conversation and not just copying. You want to give those viewers something those other creators didn't, whether it's content or presentation style or maybe humor. But also remember that other creators are not your competitors. When it comes down to it, you're all on the same team. It's the same community, and it's ultimately good for your community to have more than one perspective on the same issues or problems. Sometimes there are things you can contribute to that others actually didn't even think of, or a perspective you might have from your experiences that others may not have. So lean into those opportunities and keep in mind that your viewers trust you for a reason. You have valuable things to share. Tip number 6, you need to organize your ideas. It's so important because you really don't want to have that moment when you have a stroke of inspiration and the most amazing idea ever comes to you and you write it down in some random spot only to lose it in your mess of notes. And you're never able to find it when you're scrounging for video ideas. So there's kind of two sides to this tip. There's physical organization of ideas, and there's also conceptual organization. For physical organization, I would highly recommend recording all of your ideas in one specific place. Having them scattered in multiple places will just be an extreme headache, trust me. Even if you just use your phone to jot down random inspiration during the day, make sure that you add it to your main content document at night or at least once a week so that all of your great ideas get revisited whenever you go back to them. As for what to use, there are so many available tools to choose from that are already well suited for this job. You could use a spreadsheet, a table, a notes app, or a word processing document, just a folder of papers or a notebook or just a journal. You just need to experiment and choose whatever method works best for you. So whether it's on paper or a digital document though, make sure that you know what place this is and to keep it somewhere safe and secure that it won't get lost or go unsaved if your computer crashes. And yes, this does happen, so plan for it. It's also important to make sure these ideas are easily accessible and easy to sort through when you actually need them. As for conceptual organization, I would recommend using a Google Sheets document and basically making a table. Create columns or rows of categories you can add to as you go through and research and group them together in a way that actually makes sense for you. You can organize by category, by topic relevance, by platform, whether this actually applies to Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, by groups of topics that relate to each other, potential playlist ideas by stage of development in your field, so beginner versus more seasoned veterans. Once you're done with your initial research and brainstorming session, you can start sorting them by relevance and practicality. I would still recommend keeping the ones that feel unrealistic though. Honestly, you never know. This may spark other ideas in the future. The ideas don't need to be perfect. You just need to make sure that they are actually organized in a system that you understand and will remember when you come back to it. Comment down below what you like to do to organize your content ideas if you do have a system. And I just want to add and make sure you repeat this content brainstorming process over and over again. The online sphere is always changing. Even if you do come up with a year's worth of content in a couple brainstorm sessions like this, it's important to keep up to date with current events and trends and make sure your content is always relevant to the people watching it. So comment down below, big shots, what are your tricks for finding the best content ideas? And if you want to see how to turn those content ideas into a playlist, check out this video, which I'll link right here, on how to create a YouTube playlist. And that's all for now, and I'll see you next time, big shots.